And we're back. Yeah. I was tempted to throw in a commercial over there, but I don't have any commercials, and even if I did, I would be getting paid for them. Anyway. Actually, I do have a commercial, but I'm going to record it later. Edit this out. Anyway. Anyway, back to our discussion. How can we break down this paradigm, this barrier? Well, here's a hint. Okay, last semester, under I guess you'd call it semester, or last year, get kind of confusing the way exec board terms work, but anyway, the last administration under President Stephen Passman had this thing called SBA roundtables, in which most of them were held, I think, in the Leggett Center, in which they opened the doors, invite students to come in. They had these tables, 2 or 3, maybe 4 tables, and students sit around the tables and discuss. Discuss what? That was the problem of the SBA roundtable. And the effect, low attendance. Because students didn't know what was going to be discussed. So there was no way for them to prepare. Which, when you want to discuss something, is something that you, as a person, want to do. So no one came, even though it was possible that some of them might have great ideas about certain issues, but they were unaware of what issues would be discussed. So no one came, except ones that were highly interested in whatever the SBA exec board had to say, and those that felt like getting a couple of slices of pizza or whatever the food was that was given away with these events. So that had low attendance. This open forum had low attendance, but it was because of the mindset. So it seemed like the last administration were aware of this mindset, so they had this roundtable open to everyone. But no one knew what was going on. No one came. This open forum, people knew what was going on. They knew what issues were going to be discussed. Yet, they didn't come. Why? I think it was because of this situation, the whole mindset about it. So, what I suggest for the next open forum, I think we have enough time between this one, the last one, and the upcoming one to discuss exactly how to do this. But what we need to do is find a happy medium between the two. Well, first off, the open forum has to break away from this, the physicality they had before. Instead of the auditorium and the stage, have the level playing field, like the Leggett Center that SBA roundtable had, or a similar room, maybe the multi-purpose room if it's large enough. Yeah, have the same level, literally, and let the students will become comfortable with this, simply because they they may recognize that, yes, these people are of the exec board, but in the way it was presented, they will see you as only enlightened students, and students like to talk with other students about pretty much everything if they can. So, yeah, continue to, in the next forum, present yourself as just students. Because every issue we've discussed and are going to discuss will affect every student, regardless if they have a say-so about it or not. So, you want to be, let them understand that we care, we care about their input, which is, we truly do, but the way we go about things seems like, we might be interested only if you say it the right way, or if you're the right person. So, you have to get away from that kind of mentality. So, 1 + 1 =... Oh, no. Anyway. So yeah, we have to find a happy medium between the rigidness of the open forum and the openness, or the too much openness of the SBA roundtable. Then we got it. You won't have, I won't say high, but a good amount of student attendance where it's not just senators, it's general students as well. So yeah, that is how I suggest, in a general sense, of what we should do. I'd also like to be open to discuss the details of how to do that in the time period between today and the next one. So yeah. Okay, now more on to specific issues. Alright, the first issue that was discussed, or at least listed in the presentation, was the smoking legislation. Again, if you want to hear the history, or at least the general overview of the smoking legislation, go back to the first Millcast, which it was discussed somewhat in depth. So go there if you want to catch up on that. But here is where we are right now. It was said in the forum yesterday that staff and faculty has decided to leave the details, as far as I can recall, that the details up to the students. Okay? That pretty much, in my opinion, puts an end to the whole discussion phase, or at least the whole preemptive discussion phase of how do we know if people are on board with this. Okay, so we're past that phase. What's our next phase? Well, is the implementive, I don't know if that's a word, implementive stage of discussion, in which we, as a Senate and Exec Board, which are actually one and the same, I'll talk about that later, come to discuss what to do specifically. Now, it was mentioned also in the forum that they're going about running tests about how to work these public smoking areas that are proposed out of this whole issue. So, yeah, they're going to be running tests. And right now they're stuck on whether to do just residential or just academic. Well, that doesn't really help anything because each section is different from one another. Because if you take a look at the map of Millcast campus, you can see how diverse the traffic and path flow is of each section. None of them are even close to being the same. So, with that in mind, what I suggest for a test is take one building, one residential building in the south side, one that's generally high levels of traffic, so you get the most input as possible. Maybe New South, I don't know, I haven't been to that side of campus in a while. Then you take one academic building, I suggest Sullivan Harrell, and then to the north side, you get a residential area from there. I've never been to north side as far as that goes, except for once, and I wasn't really paying attention to the traffic flow. So, this is how we go about it. Alright, for the academic building, again, I suggested Sullivan Harrell. Particularly the entrance that faces Murrah and the AC, because the side that faces the bowl, generally, if people smoke there, are generally out of the way anyway, because they already have seating. But back to the side I'm talking about. Most smokers, when they come out to that side to smoke, they come out the door and go take a sharp right, and they're standing on this side of the steps, smoking away. Well, if you go down the steps and walk past the bushes a little bit, you see this little bit of an alcove type area. There's a pair of benches, one on each side, then of the alcove, and then they're flanked by a trash can each. So what I suggest for the test of this academic building is put the test public smoking area assigned to each of those benches. Not the area in between the benches. The benches, and maybe a feet or two away from the bench, so in case there's not enough seating for all the smokers, you can still stand around. So you have those test areas. What's so great about them is, one, there's benches already there, so don't have to worry about purchasing seating. Two, there's trash cans already there. Don't necessarily have to buy any more smoke bins for those. Three, because of all the trees, there's plenty of shade, so no need of awnings or umbrellas or anything like that. So, yeah, those are pretty good spots. What about the weather? Well, it tends that non-smokers and smokers both do not like getting wet or being cold. Well, mostly wet. So, unless they're really hankering for a smoke, they tend to stay inside. So, you don't really have to worry about that. So, yeah. And likewise, I won't have to go to part 3 because of YouTube and the 15 time limit. So, I'll discuss this in the next 30 seconds. So, yeah. Again, I would have a commercial, but I don't have any. So, stay tuned. Don't go away. Yeah.